This is Super Yacht News with E. Sisman.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. Okay, it is Casual Friday, as you can see, and for Friday we have a video subject that sounds like it should come from the storyline of the Thomas Crown affair or something. Near priceless artwork is a popular thing to have on board a super yacht, believe it or not. It seems counterintuitive, I know, but I know of many yachts that have very expensive artwork on board. Now, this story revolves around a Russian billionaire named Dmitry Robolev, who has owned a number of super yachts. He is currently the owner of motor yacht Anna, which is a $250 million, 110 meter or 360 foot super yacht built in 2018 by Fidship. It was delivered in 2018. This is the largest, at the time of its build, it was the largest yacht ever built by Fidship. I think it might still hold that title. Anyway, this story is with help from reporting from the New York Times. Now, the backstory is in 2013, Dmitry Robolev was in the midst of a buying spree of artwork totaling $2 billion, billion with a B. He used a man to help handle many of the purchases named Yves Bouvier. Some of the artworks were valued in tens of millions each, with at least one over 100 million, including works by Leonardo da Vinci. However, in some of the cases, he says Bouvier told him he was making a deal between Robolev and a buyer, but Bouvier was not dealing with an owner at all, but was actually the owner of the piece himself. So the piece in this instance was called the Tet, a sculpture by Modigliani, valued or sold for $83 million. However, Bouvier had quietly purchased the piece himself months earlier for half of that price. For years, Robolev has accused Bouvier of defrauding him in that and dozens of other transactions. Now, Robolev is suing the auction house Sotheby's in a New York court. He accuses them of assisting Bouvier in the fraud by creating inflated evaluations of the pieces. I'll stay to the end of this video, of this story, because there is a big kicker at the end. Robolev went on to accuse Bouvier in court papers of defrauding him in the purchase of 38 works, 12 of which were bought in private sales arranged by Sotheby's. In the trial to start Monday in New York, a company Robolev used to buy art has accused the auction house of being complicit and suggested it helped Bouvier because he had become such a valuable client. In the case of the Modigliani, for example, the judge cited evidence that a Sotheby's representative, Samuel Valette, had told Bouvier in 2012 in an email that the sculpture was worth at least 70 to 90 million euros, only to revise that estimate to 80 to 100 million euros less than 12 hours later. Bouvier forwarded the higher projection to Robolev's aides. Now, from this evidence, a judge said, a jury could certainly infer that Valette and Bouvier spoke in the intervening 12 hours and that Valette raised his estimate at Bouvier's request. This Judge Furman wrote in his opinion last March. One of the artworks involved in this story is the Salvator Mundi, a depiction of Christ by Leonardo da Vinci that is the most expensive painting ever sold at auction. Bouvier wrote to Robolev's aide to update him on negotiations that Judge Furman later concluded never took place. The seller, Bouvier wrote, had rejected offers of $90, $100, $120 and $125 million before finally accepting $127.5 million for the masterpiece. On May the 2nd, 2013, Bouvier, not Robolev, bought the Mundi through Sotheby's by putting up a painting and cash valued at $83 million. A day later, he sold it to Robolev for $127.5 million, according to court papers, a profit of $44.5 million. Now, Robolev is suing the auction house, Sotheby's, in court in New York. He accuses them of assisting Bouvier in the fraud by creating inflated evaluations of the pieces. Sotheby's has denied any wrongdoing, saying it abided by the industry's best practices. The art world, it seems, is even more secretive than the super yacht world, as multi-million-dollar artwork is bought, often without the buyer ever knowing who the seller is. which this story seems to have exposed, leaves the opportunity for people to lie about values of artwork and whom is selling the piece. As said, a number of yachts have artwork valued at tens of millions of dollars on board. I know of some personally that have copies of the artwork that is brought on board at times to cover for the original should the yacht go anywhere deemed too dangerous. The artwork is often encased inside dust and humidity-proof cases with alarms in case temperatures rise or the atmosphere is contaminated in any way. So going back to Robolev, as well as his new $250 million yacht, Robolev previously owned a smaller yacht also built by Fedship many years earlier and also called Motor Yacht Anna, which he later sold after taking delivery of the new bigger yacht. He also owns a private island in Greece formerly owned by Aristotle Onassis named Scorpios that has a marina there which can take his 110 meter yacht. Now, despite spending years fighting in court with Bouvier and now Sotheby's, Robolev went on to make a profit upon selling one piece of art in the largest sale of a piece of art to take place ever. Around the time of the delivery of his new yacht, Robolev sold the Da Vinci painting to a Saudi art collector for $450 million. That's a profit of $322.5 million. Interestingly, the profit he made from the sale of the Da Vinci artwork would have paid for the new yacht outright, with millions left over. Not a bad deal overall then. The court starts in New York on Monday and we'll bring you more as it progresses. All right, we'll move on to Friday Yotspot. In this photo here, we can see the old Seven Seas versus the new Seven Seas taken in the Bahamas. Both yachts built by Ocean Co. for Steven Spielberg. The dark coloured yacht is the old Seven Seas delivered in 2010. Now, Spielberg sold the yacht as his new yacht was almost ready. That's the new yacht in the aft of that photograph, by the way. As it was getting ready for delivery of that yacht, he sold the old one. The old yacht was bought by Barry Zeckelman and renamed Man of Steel. A photo was sent in by Dawson Whitaker. Now, we also have here more footage from the New Year's Eve party at St. Bart's. Couldn't get this in time for the previous video. This is from Romar Visual. Absolutely lunatic, flying his drone seemingly through a fireworks display. However, managing to get some great footage in the process. Braver man than I am, I would have been too worried to send my drone up in the air. Not only because of the fireworks, the pyrotechnics flying around and exploding, but also because it was midnight and extremely dark, and drones are not really designed to fly in that kind of condition. But he got some great footage as a result of taking those risks. All right, before we go, we've got one correction. In the previous video, we talked about Motor Yacht Utopia for sporting crash damage to the bow. And we said that the video footage was from the recent accident in December last year. However, this was actually incorrect. The damage that we showed in that video footage was from 2021. So it was from the original accident when they crashed into the tanker. Now, we were told that the video was from the latest accident. And at no time did we deliberately post the footage knowing it was from the old crash. We have no reason to do that. We just took it upon the person who sent it in to say that it was from the most recent one, but it wasn't. It was old footage. We actually received a photograph from the brokers showing us what actual damage occurred in this most recent incident in December. It's very minor indeed. It's on the same side, but it's much more minor. And we did, for the record, we did try to contact the yacht to ask if the footage we showed was recent, but we received no reply. As with previous emails sent to the yacht after the crash, asking statements, which we never got any replies to either. Now, we believe the damage to the yacht has also now been repaired, according to this photo we received from another subscriber. So what's it like on board a yacht at Christmas? It's a good question. Maybe you might have ideas of what it might be like, and you might think it's, we just celebrate it in the same way as you do at home. Guys, remember to check out our new podcast. It's at Yacht Report Podcast on YouTube. You can also find it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as Audible, and soon to be on all podcast platforms. Here we talk about all things super yachts in a more informal, relaxed atmosphere, obviously more in depth because they're much longer than any video we could post on the main channel. Lots of anecdotal stories from my past adventures and some of our team's past adventures as well in the industry. From Monaco to Gibraltar was 865 nautical miles. And don't forget to check out our Patreon channel at patreon.com/eSysman. You'll find many videos not published on YouTube, including our Atlantic vlog series and behind the scenes footage and exclusive videos from our trips to Italy, Monaco and France from the Monaco Yacht Show last year. Now, if you've got any information for us about any stories that you've seen here or any other stories, please be sure to get in touch in the normal fashion. You can get us in the email address in the ticket. You can get us on the About page of the YouTube channel. Get us on Instagram, Facebook Messenger. You can get us on Twitter and on Threema. Be sure to like the video, very important for the algorithm. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for future notifications. All right, guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye. I've had to join with the pilot boat. So I was on I was joining a cruise ship. It was a cruise ship actually at the time, and my flight was late, and the ship had to leave. They had a slot to leave, and they had to leave. So I had to join on the pilot boat. I had to get on the pilot boat. The pilot boat was going to collect the pilot.